You are a registered taxable supplier, meaning that you are supposed to charge value added tax on your sales and also claim input VAT on your purchases. But are you required to withhold value added tax simply because you are registered for VAT? Well, this is what I'm going to cover in today's video. I'm going to look at the overall picture on withholding VAT and who should be able to withhold VAT on the invoices. If you've subscribed to my channel, a million thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, consider subscribing to my channel by clicking the subscribe button down this side, and also don't you forget to share this video, like it, and give me a comment. I would like to hear your views on today's video in terms of withholding VAT. Now, let's get started. Withholding VAT, simply abbreviated as WHVAT, is a tax collection mechanism that was introduced by the government of Zambia in 2017. And I remember this vividly when the withholding VAT was introduced. There was quite a lot of learning that we had to undergo, especially when it came to the accounting for withholding VAT on the agent side. However, we've learned quite a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's smooth sailing. So this is a VAT collection mechanism that was introduced by the government in 2017, specifically to ensure compliance from VAT registered taxable suppliers. And I'm pretty sure the government had identified a loophole in terms of taxable suppliers not remitting the VAT that they are required to remit. So that is how withholding VAT was introduced. Now, as the name entails, withholding VAT refers to the fact that a supplier is going to withhold value-added tax on an invoice. If you look at the way VAT operates, and if you haven't already watched any of my videos, you can watch my video right here in terms of the basic overview of how value-added tax works. Value-added tax is supposed to be withheld by a taxable supplier, and then at the month end, after netting off your input claims on VAT on purchases, you then remit the difference. If you're supposed to pay ZRA the VAT due, if it's a tax liability, then you're supposed to pay ZRA. If your account allows you to claim, if you're in a claimable position, then you can claim VAT from ZRA. So essentially, the person who's supposed to remit the VAT is the registered taxable supplier. However, since 2017, the government introduced organizations, companies referred to as withholding VAT agents. These agents are required to withhold VAT on your invoice. Withholding VAT affects all taxable suppliers in Zambia. However, for you to withhold value-added tax, you must be an appointed VAT agent. Only the Commissioner General can appoint you to be a withholding VAT agent in writing. So not every taxable supplier registered for value-added tax is mandated to withhold value-added tax. It's important to remember that only those organizations, companies that have been appointed as withholding VAT agents are required to withhold value-added tax. So if you are a supplier and your customer is withholding VAT on an invoice, you need to find out if they are registered VAT agents. They should have a certificate that recognizes them as appointed value-added tax agents, withholding value-added tax agents, without which you can pursue the issue further and find out why they are withholding the value-added tax, since they are not appointed agents. As a withholding VAT agent, there are quite a number of obligations that they must comply with. One of the obligations is to generate a certificate for the supplier. This certificate can be generated at any time. There are no restrictions as to when a certificate can be generated by a supplier. Once an invoice is received by an agent, the ZRA system has the capacity to generate a certificate automatically without any delays. This certificate can then be sent automatically either by SMS or by email to a supplier that is affected by the withholding VAT. The certificate is the only evidence that value-added tax has been withheld by the supplier. Okay, and so it is very important that you as a customer are able to log into your system and are able to, get this certificate either through the SMS or through the email, because this is going to be sent to you. It is the only evidence that VAT has been withheld by this appointed value-added tax agent. This certificate is very important for you as a customer when you start doing your value-added tax return. And as you are going to see, when I finally get to how to submit a VAT return online, which I will be getting to very, very soon. I know these videos have been long-winded in terms of value-added tax, but we are getting there. There are just a few topics that we need to cover. So as you are going to see, when we start submitting the value-added tax return, you will need these certificates for withholding VAT, because they are the only evidence or records that value-added tax was actually withheld. So it's very important that you get these certificates and keep them nicely, because you will need to use them when doing your VAT return. So in addition to generating this withholding VAT certificate, the agent is also required to submit a return for all the VAT withheld certificates, or for all the value-added tax withheld. And they need to submit this return by 16th of the following month. So it's very important that the appointed agents submit these returns on time to enable you as the customer to also be able to, do your VAT return by the 18th of the following month, which is the due date, or the general due date for VAT. So the agent is required to also submit a return for all the VAT withheld. Now, what about you as a supplier? What are your obligations when it comes to value-added tax? Now, these obligations we've covered in past videos, but just as a reminder, you are still required to issue an invoice to your customer showing the exact value-added tax that you've charged on that invoice. That invoice must clearly show the value-added tax that you've charged, and it must be issued within 14 days of the transaction occurring. So these are general obligations that you normally should already be aware of as a VAT registered taxable supplier. Now, once the withholding VAT agent withholds VAT from your invoice, you need to take action. Make sure that the VAT withholding certificate is applied to your VAT liability immediately. This is not going to happen automatically. So you need to match the VAT certificate and apply it to your VAT liability, meaning that when you do your return, you need to include all the VAT withheld certificates on that return. As a result, you are matching your VAT withheld certificates to your VAT liability. So you need to take that action. Don't do your VAT return without including the certificates for value-added tax that's been withheld. This can be a common error that businesses make, especially those that are newly registered taxable suppliers for value-added tax. So very important. This is an actionable insight that you need to be aware of when it comes to value-added tax, specifically for those VAT that is withheld by tax agents appointed by the Commissioner General. If the VAT withheld is more than your VAT liability, you can claim a refund because you are in a refund position. However, if the VAT withheld is less than your VAT liability, you are required to pay ZRA the difference. So you know that already, right? This is general value-added tax. This is how VAT operates. And so in a nutshell, this is what withholding VAT is all about. If you don't comply with this, either as a tax agent, withholding VAT agent, or a supplier, there are penalties, and you can consult ZRA on what those penalties are. I am not here to talk about penalties. I want to focus on your general obligations and how you can be tax compliant when it comes to your taxes in Zambia. So this is generally what I had to share about withholding VAT. I hope you picked out a lot of insights and you are now going to be able to account for your withholding VAT properly, okay, so that you are not penalized. If you require further training on value-added tax or any taxes in Zambia, it could be income tax, pay as you earn, turnover tax, excise duties, do contact me. I've got online training programs that I'm offering and at a reasonable fee. So send me an email to mmukonkela@insidepartnersafrica.com and we shall get chatting. So I will leave my email address in the comment section below so that you can get in touch with me if you'd like specific tailored training to you. Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you've subscribed already, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel right now by clicking the subscribe button. It is either up here or up here. I don't know which one. Please click subscribe right now. And also don't you forget to share and like. Thank you so much and see you next time.